NBA in-season tournament. Round 1, day 1, match day 1, game week 1, whatever you want to call it. I don't even know what you call it. If you guys haven't heard about the NBA in-season tournament, I did a whole video explaining what it is and how it works up here. And I also did a recap of just the courts and how it looked and all that stuff. I'll have that one up here as well. This one, I just want to go over because I feel like I watched maybe 3 full games and like 2 or 3 quarters of like the other games. So I've kind of watched everything, but in different lengths, right? So, Cavs versus Pacers. Tyrese Haliburton came back for this game. Pacers went up early, and then Cavs came back, and then Pacers just closed out the game, clutch at the end. Donovan Mitchell had 38 points, 9 assists in the game. Tyrese is a bad man. Like, if there's one thing I'm seeing about this Pacers team, it's that Haliburton is a bad boy. Like, I know he is. Like, I watched him last year, but like just seeing him again this year, like it's like I forgot, like I just did that reminder. For the Cavs, I think one of the things that I really wanted to see this year is how much they can stretch the floor and actually give space to Evan Mobley, because that's one of the biggest things about them last year that bogged them down. So they're still trying to figure it out. They're still trying to figure out the 3-point shooting, Max Strus, how he fits into the whole equation. So yeah, it's they still have time. But then for the in-season tournament, like once you lose your first game, everything else becomes a must win, right? Because only the top 3 make it. The top teams in each group or qualify automatically. Then if you want to be one of the wildcards, you have to win at least 3 games, right? So you can lose 1 and win 3 and still make the quarters. Knicks versus Bucks. This game was fun, I guess. For the Bucks, they have a lot of issues that they still need to figure out. Again, it's just 5 games in. Lillard really didn't have a preseason with them. Still trying to figure each other out. Chris Middleton, minutes restriction. So there's still a bit that they need to figure out, but some things are constant. Like Brook Lopez is still an animal on defense. He had 7 blocks in this game. He was just eating on the glass. Like he was immense. The one thing I've realized about the Bucks defense, which is something that they were really good at last year. I think they were second in defensive transition. Like they were just not conceding any points in defensive transition. They were really keeping it to a minimum. This year they're like 28th or 29th. They concede. They get scored on even after scoring, right? Like they could make a basket and within a few seconds they're getting scored on. Like that transition defense really, really needs to improve. Then their 3-point shooting is wild. I think they finished 18 of 30 or 19 of 38 or something crazy like that. Like their 3-point shooting is really good. The things you want to see Lillard be, well, as a neutral. As a Celtics fan, I don't want to see it, right? But as a neutral, it's good to see Lillard. He was brought in for game time. And that's what he did today. Like 6 quick points. I think it was 6 quick points. Quick 3. Then got an and 1. Then like he just controlled the game. He had like crucial steals at certain points of the game. Because what I've realized is that every single team is trying to isolate him, right? Everyone is targeting him. Everyone is trying to go at him. So the Bucks have to figure it out because Drew Holiday was there when he was their point guard. That was one of the places where teams were not targeting because they're like, this is the one person who's going to find a way to spoil our offense, right? And then now it's like the complete opposite. Now we're really targeting your point guard. So how do the Bucks adjust to that? How do they find ways in which they can funnel, like if once you get past Lillard, how are you funneling everything towards Brook Lopez? Because Lopez can, as you've seen, 7 block shots, right? He can eat up the glass. So how can you direct everything to towards our big men where we can actually block shots and stuff like that? Giannis is also a good shot blocker, long arms. Like they're still trying to figure out how they're going to channel or funnel every drive towards their big men or towards their length, right? So still a long way to go, and I guess it's always better to figure yourself out as you're winning. So they're now 3-2 and have gotten their first win in the in-season tournament. For the Knicks, Jalen Brunson was insane. Like, he was insane in this game. Another positive aspect of this game was Julius Randle. He was 4 of 17 at some point of the game, and then he just went crazy, like, the last few moments. So when he was needed, he actually came clutch. One thing the Knicks did in the second half is that they actually started playing physical. And despite the barrage of threes that the Bucks were just putting down on them, like, they actually found a way to even take the lead, you know? So they really played hard. Mitchell Robinson, one moment, brain fart. How do you foul Giannis on a three? Like, how do you fall for a pump fake on a three from Giannis? I know he had made 3 before, or 2 or 3 before, but you can't foul Giannis as a 3-point shooter. That's just insane. Insane to think about. Beauchamp, I've seen he's someone off the bench, sort of being that X factor, you know. Ever since they lost Grayson Allen, they actually need someone else to be like an X factor, you know. So he made a bunch of crucial threes. But yeah, all in all, the Bucks still have a lot to figure out. They are still firing on like 2 cylinders out of 6. So yeah, for the Knicks, nothing much to say. Like, I love the fight back. Now they just need to make sure they don't get into a big hole in terms of the season. They're 2-4, but the East is not the West. The West is like, you can be 2-4 and you know for a fact, like, if you keep going like this, like, you're not going to make the playoffs, or you're going to be a playing team. So they still have time to grow. Warriors Thunder. I think I only watched like the last 5 minutes of this game, so I'll only speak about like the last minute, which was the most crucial one. People are saying that it was a controversial end. I don't think it was controversial. It was pretty obvious, right? First of all, this game was quite high scoring. It was 139 all, with like 2 microseconds before that Steph Curry Draymond basket, right? Thunder scored 139 points without SGA. That is really good. Like, it's a young team that's really trusting each other. That's good to see. The Warriors, Steph Curry got that last minute scoop. So they say that Draymond had actually interfered with the basket, so they're going to call it basket interference. But then on replay, Josh Giddey, get giddy with it, actually touched the net, which is actually defensive basket interference. So the ball went in, but instead of giving Steph the basket, they gave it to Draymond because he was the one who was closest. Because that's just how NBA works, which is weird. To me, I don't think it was controversial. It was quite pretty obvious, straightforward. Many guys are saying it's controversial, but nah, like, good officiating. The Bulls lost to the Nets. The Bulls were up, and they just ended up giving away this game. I don't understand. Wizards lost 121-114 to the Heat. The Wizards are going to be one of the worst teams in the league. Jordan Poole. If you guys watch this team, just watch Jordan Poole. I don't know why he's. There are moments where he thinks he's Steph, like, but he's not Steph. Like, you know, when you've been there and you've won the biggest prize, which is the NBA title, and then now you have to be the main man. It's not the same. Like, when everything is now focused on you, you have to find a way to actually lead a team, and he's not doing that at all. And maybe he will, I don't know, but he's not the answer. He's not the answer. Grizzlies, Trailblazers. Grizzlies were up by 10 points with like 4 minutes to go. I don't even know how they lost this game. Their offense just bogged down tremendously. Shadon Sharp is a bad boy. Malcolm Brogdon came on the last maybe 10 out of 12 points in regular time to take this game to OT. Scored 10 out of 12 to take this game into OT. Then Shadon Sharp just killed it in OT. Yeah, Portland is going to be one of those teams. Like, they're going to lose a lot of games, but Shadon Sharp, I feel like this is going to be the year where this is going to be like his coming out year. He looks very positive. I really like it. For the Grizzlies, it was, first of all, as a Celtics fan, seeing Marcus Smart go up against Malcolm Brogdon was weird. But it also showed me how there are things I didn't see as a Celtics fan, to be honest. I was blinded. Marcus Smart was not the answer as our point guard. He really wasn't. I'm watching this game and I'm just like, Brogdon looks way more in control, way more he makes things happen, right? Whereas for Marcus Smart, like, there was this 4 or 5 possessions, which again, I have seen this with my own 2 eyes with that when he's wearing the 36 of the Celtics, where the offense is just not going anywhere. The turnovers were just pretty dumb. One thing he's not doing at the Grizzlies, which is shocking me, is he's not taking unnecessary threes or unnecessary twos, which the team needs. The team actually needs someone to take these shots because he's trying to be a facilitator to a team that people are not like. Once he passes to Jaren Jackson, at the 3-point line, the offense is just there, like it's just standing, like nothing happens, right? The ball comes back to Marcus Smart, and then what happens? Tillman, ball goes to him, comes back to Marcus Smart. What happens? No one can create their shot. The only person who can is Desmond Bain. But by that point, the Blazers are doubling him up or putting 3 people on him, or then they're passing lane. So there's actually no clear pass towards Desmond Bain. So yeah, the Grizzlies look, I don't know, man. Like, I don't even know. And defense was their calling card. Even that is just looking a bit shaky. I mean, they considered 115 points, which is not too bad for a game that went into overtime, but they are at risk of missing the playoffs altogether. 0-6 in the West they might not even make the playoffs. Even if Ja comes back, they might not even make the playoffs, So, yeah, solid win for the Blazers. Grizzlies is just, woo! Then, yeah, last game was Mavericks versus Nuggets. This game, the Nuggets were the Nuggets. I'm not even going to say too much about them. Their typical ball movement, like solid defense when you need it. The offense is firing solid from 3. Like, they were just efficient. They're just an efficient team. The only thing I'll say about them before I move to the Mavericks is that the Nuggets are showing new aspects of their offense. For example, Jokic is now becoming more of a cutter. Normally, it's Jokic on the post, and we all know the most potent play in basketball right now is a Nikola Jokic post-up. Like, it generates the most points out of any play in basketball in 2023, 24, even last year, right? So, what we're seeing from Jokic is he's actually coming and cutting. Now you're using him as a cutter. Normally, people are used to him being the cutter, right? This game, I think, who finished? Someone. I think Murray had 12 assists, if I'm not wrong. I left it at like 10 or 11. I'm pretty sure he had 12 assists. Actually, yeah, he had 13 assists, right? And then Aaron Gordon had 6 assists, and Jokic had 9 assists. So they're using Jokic a lot as a cutter as well, which is just another wrinkle to their offense, making them more unpredictable. Once you win the title, everyone is going to come at you. Everyone is going to study what you do. So you need to do something different, add something new to your offense. And that's something that I'm seeing from them. So there's that. Then obviously Michael Porter is just becoming a bit more confident shooting from the 3. He had 24 points in this game. Aaron Gordon had one of the most impressive plays I've seen. Like, it was a Jokic post up, and then he came cutting in. Jokic just dumped it off to him, and then he went under the basket, and then he did like a off the glass and in. It was nice. Yeah, this team they're just efficient. They know what to do. Even after losing Bruce Brown, it's only been the game against the Timberwolves that I saw them struggle a bit. But I also think the Timberwolves are the one team that are really well equipped to stop the Nuggets. Like, just in terms of the combination of size and power. Karl Anthony Towns is the one guy who's given Jokic a lot of problems. So, yeah, other than that one game that they lost, they're 5-1. They look really good. Like, yeah, they're a good team. And they're probably, for me, I think they're one of my favorites to actually win this tournament. They're just so efficient. They have the continuity from last year. They're unlike other teams which are all trying to figure themselves out. These guys are already, they've lost, yes, 1 or 2 players, but the core group is still there. For the Mavericks, this should be a whole episode on its own. I don't understand what the Mavericks do on defense. Like, they have the worst defense I've ever seen in my life. Like, no, there are moments when they have their moments, right? For example, the first 2 possessions of the game, they swarmed Jokic really well. They scrambled well to, like, the Nuggets were going through their usual passing the ball around the key, whatever, and then like 6 seconds to go on the shot clock, the Mavericks actually got a steal. Second possession, same thing. Move the ball around, then they got a steal again. I was like, okay, cool. Set the offense really well. And then like the next like 5 or 6 possession was just atrocious, right? These guys went up 4-0, and within a few minutes, they're down 10. One of the reasons is they concede dumb baskets after they've made their own basket. There's this one time when I think it was Doncic who scored. Oh, he assisted. He was basically under the rim, right? So they scored. 5 seconds later, they're conceding an alley-oop dunk. It's a 2-on-1. How is it a 2-on-1 off your mid basket? Like, their defense is so mind-boggling to me. The way they make the reads sometimes. There are times when it's just laziness, right? When the Nuggets get the ball, instead of running back, you're trying to get a quick steal, and it's like 4 of you trying to get a quick steal. And then the ball just passes. Once it passes that first line of defense, that's it. It's like a 3-on-1, 4-on-1, 2-on-1. It's just like their defensive reads are so peculiar. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand like what they're trying to achieve. They have a nice rookie, like the rookie they got, what's his name? Derek Lively. I was very curious to watch him. I'd heard good things about him. This is the first time I've watched him like play. He had good moments, but he was not a match for Jokic at all. Like, for a guy like Jokic, is like, you're a rookie. Like, yeah, you can have 2 or 3 moments, but I'll have the entire game, right? I will have the last laugh after the game ends. So the thing with Lively is he's a very willing learner, right? He looks like someone who wants to learn. He wants to go through. They're letting him go through his paces, letting him make mistakes, and actually see how he can get better. So I think Lively makes a very big difference in this team. Grant Williams as well. Very weird seeing him play for another team, but he was good. He defended Jokic on quite a bit, actually. I think he was the primary defender on Jokic on actually the most of this game. Dwight Powell came on, gave them some good minutes. But yeah, like, I'm not a fan of the Mavericks. Like, there's just this roster construction is just, for me, I don't know. It just doesn't. There's just something that doesn't feel right about this team, you know. Doncic is like, it's always like every basket they make seems like it's such a difficult basket. They were 4-0 before this game, and in this game, like, this is the first test, the proper test they've been given, and it's like you can see that it's going to be a tough one. They will do well, like they'll beat up against the smaller teams, but the really good teams, your top 5, top 6 teams that are well over 500 are going to give this team a lot of problems, especially defensively. I still feel like the Mavs, they need to figure it out. I don't know what they're going to do, but that Kyrie, Luka Doncic combo. But funny enough, Kyrie actually had very good moments defensively in terms of stealing the ball, quick hands. Like, he had good moments. It's just that once you make them rotate a bit, make them switch a bit, then they just get lost. And if I'm a team and I'm going to play the Mavericks, I just put them into action. I put them into pick and roll. I put them into a lot of off-ball screens, just stuff that will move them around, because I know they can't recover on the second, third phase of play. So, yeah. And then they also conceded, was it 19 offensive rebounds? Crazy figure like that. Yeah, 19 offensive rebounds. That's not going to cut it, bro. 19 offensive rebounds to Nuggets, who actually had 12 turnovers at halftime. They finished the game with 17 turnovers. So they were doing things to give you a chance to get back into this game. At some point, the Mavs got it all the way down to like 10 points. And then that's when now the Mavericks defense just started showing up again. So yeah, it was a weird game. But anyway, all in all, yeah, that was day 1, round 1, match week 1, whatever you want to call it, of the NBA in-season tournament. I'm excited. I can't wait to see what's next. Those courts need a bit more. Some of them just need some fine-tuning, right? I did like a whole breakdown on that, and you guys can watch it. But yeah, that's it for the opening round of the NBA in-season tournament.